Hey everybody, Brock Frady here, helping you enjoy your ride. In today's video, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at a Tesla Model S Plaid. And this is just a dream for me. I've not been able to find one of these before. In fact, this is actually my first time reviewing a Model S. I've done the X and the Y and the 3 but I've never done the S. And this one happens to be the king, the ultimate in all Tesla cars. And here's what's weird about this one. I don't know if you can see it, but right there's the Plaid logo, but right there it says SpaceX. And I think that that's just something that the previous owner put on this car, because I looked up SpaceX edition model Plaid, and there were some there were a lot of posts that said that's just a thing that's in the works, and maybe it was something that they were toying with and whatever. I didn't find any jet propulsion things on it, which is actually what the internet said. I think that's just a emblem, so kind of disregard that. But anyways, this is a Plaid. This thing has 1,020 horsepower. I've never driven a car this fast. I've never driven a car that literally makes you feel kind of nauseous when you actually really get on it. And this thing is unbelievable. The self-driving is just second to none, because nobody else does it. Anyways, in this video, we're going to take a look at all of that. But before we get started, I want to say a huge thank you to Impex Auto Sales in Greensboro, North Carolina, for the opportunity to film this Plaid. I'll be sure to leave all their contact information, including their website, in the description box below. It's a hatchback. It looks kind of weird. It almost has Ferrari-esque type looks from certain angles. I don't want to offend anyone, but there are some kind of F12 type of looks that this thing has from certain angles. This is actually an old body style. This particular model is a 2021, and there have been various refreshes and updates to it. Nothing really significant, and it's almost gotten to the point that when you see one of these on the road, you're just like, yeah, whatever, it's a Tesla. And then when you get behind the wheel of this thing, it's just like, oh my gosh, everything changes. It's just absolutely insanity. There are cameras all over it. Of course, it has see, it just identified me because I just walked up with the key on myself. There's Sentry mode. So when you lock it, all of these cameras, there's a camera here. There is a camera under the light. There's a camera there, not light, the side mirror. There's a camera there on the side. There's a camera there. There's cameras inside that look at you. And so whenever you park the car and you lock it, it actually records the things that are going on around it. That's been around forever. This one also has gigantic, beautiful, gorgeous wheels with Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. Those things are super duper grippy. You can also get a carbon fiber brake upgrade, which is thousands of dollars. And this one does not have that. From what I understand, when you've got 1,020 horsepower and you go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds, some say under 2, I don't know, but you need some carbon ceramic brakes to stop you. I'm not going to be really doing that much in this car. There is a rubber button here, and it allows you to pop the trunk. You can see that there is a shelf there. You can remove that. The seats fold down. There is a ton of room. There's also an additional area here that you have storage for, and that's nice. So that's a nice big area as far as storage is concerned, because the actual frunk itself, the front trunk, is kind of small, and it also is manual up. You would think that a vehicle that costs $130,000 would have power front and rear doors, but this one does not. There's a small little area here for storage, maybe a weekend bag and whatnot. But that's going to be it as far as the storage is concerned on the Tesla Model S. Let's take a look at some of the exterior design elements. For a car that's going to be all-wheel drive, putting down over 1,000 horsepower, you need big tires. And I've already mentioned what the tires are, but look how wide those jokers are. And also look at the fenders here. Look how muscular that is. It pokes way out. It's still an impressive looking car, even though the design of it is starting to age. It's aging really, really well. It is a big car. You know, I'm over 6 foot tall, and I'm comfortable in the front, I'm comfortable in the back, and it's just a comfy, nice riding car. The top or the roof is all glass. It is all legitimate glass. There are no like bars that pass in between it. It is just one huge piece of glass. And that, some cars that have big panoramic roofs, they end up hot inside, and this one does not. It's actually really nice. I love the front design as well. Tesla could have gone the way of what a lot of electric cars, including Tesla, have done, and just made it so that the front is just solid. You don't really need that much air intake in the front because there's no engine. But they did put that little grate down here at the very bottom, and that makes it look nice. Tesla emblem there, and the lights, of course, are all LED all over the place. Fog, signal, daytime running, and your regular lights. And I love that kind of slingshot setback look that the rear of it has, and you still have room in the back, even though it looks like super cut off and aerodynamic in the rear there. I love the red on this one. Red is an upcharge in the Tesla world. And you also have a carbon fiber rear wing. I think this was an add-on because this one actually has, in addition to the carbon fiber wing, your yoke is also carbon fiber. And I do believe that that is aftermarket, but I love the way that feels because all the other ones that I have seen have been a vegan leather, and so I think that one is aftermarket. So I really, really like that upgrade. It looks really good. The back seats will fold down, and I have seen people on YouTube say that you can actually get 2 full-size bikes back there when the back seat is folded down. And you also have carbon fiber looking materials here. This is where your door handle is, so, or your button to open the door, so you have to push this in order to get out. There's this material here, I don't know what that is, but it's like a cloth material. And then your rear passengers have a fantastic screen back here, and you can tap to power the fan on, and then you can take this and you can actually up or down, and then you can, I think you can also direct the airflow when it's not on auto. There it is, see that? So I'm actually able to direct the airflow now up and down, and there's no vents. So all of the air is coming out of here. That is just so cool. Then you have video games right here, play game. And so the people in the back, they can actually play beach buggy racing too inside the Tesla. And look, it's the Model S. That's pretty sweet. So that's the screen for the back, and you have all of that. Don't worry, front passengers, you have all of that accessible to you too as well. I just realized I didn't even show you the Plaid logo that I was talking about. There it is. I would hate to go through this review realizing and later realize that I had a really, really, really special Tesla Model S or something that actually did have some type of SpaceX options. I don't think this does based on the research that I've done, but if you know something about, if you're a Tesla aficionado, And you can drop in the comments below that, yeah, man, Brock, you had a SpaceX edition, and maybe tell me what that is. Then that would be fabulous, because as far as I'm concerned, this thing is super special because it's got so much horsepower and all that stuff. But SpaceX, who knows? What if? Now, there are several different ways to enter and start up the Tesla. Actually, there's only one way to start it, but I'll explain that. You have a key, and that's the form that I'm using today. You also have a card that you can put in a wallet, and you also have an app that you can get on your phone. What I would do if I were the owner of this is I would use my phone as my key, and on that you can do a ton of different things. You can start it, you can heat it up, you can whatever. And you can also summon it. This one has the summoning feature to where if you're parked in a parking lot and you want it to come to you and you just wait for it, it will do that as well. So what we're going to do today is I do have the key fob on my person. I'm just going to approach it. You will see the door handle pop out, the mirror fold open, and when I get into the Tesla, it's already on. It's already active. It's ready to go. It says car off right there. Now it just turned on. And so now it's fully operational and we're ready to go. It says close door. We're going to close the door. And now it says press and hold brake, press and hold brake, choose direction on touch screen. And so you can see this portion along the far left side of the screen. And so I can go here to go into reverse, and all of my cameras activate, my side mirrors just tilted back, and then you can see here the instructions are very, very user friendly. And so I can go into reverse, or I can take this car icon and I can push it forward, and now I'm ready to go forward. And then it says press the accelerator to drive. I have 217 miles on the battery. It's 68 degrees at 9:50 a.m. and I am in drive. There is another thing that you can do down here as well, and it's like a hidden, you see that? So when you touch this down here, you can see that you can put it in park. And so now we're in park. You can activate the flashers, the hazard lights. You can put it in neutral, drive, and reverse. Foot on the brake. And now we're in reverse. Pretty nifty, right? I'm gonna put it back in park. There we are. There, right there, every time you kind of do something on the screen, you can see you can open the front, open the trunk. There's the charging port, and then you can lock it as well. You also have wireless charging, and that works really, really well. You can just take your cell phone, plop it right there, and boom, it starts charging. Right here is the glorious screen where you pretty much do everything. You do on the Yoke have a couple of haptic feedback buttons. I'm not going to call them buttons because they're not buttons, but here's your turn signal. And that's left, and that's right. For whatever reason, right doesn't work as well as left. You can see this right here. It also activates the mirror according to the signal that you're in right there. And then to deactivate the signal, you just press it again. That's your headlights. So now the headlights are on, and then it comes to light settings down there. And then you have this right here. This is a volume button, but this is actually multiple features that you can use right there. This is your horn. See that? And then this is cruise control. And in order to use Autopilot, if you subscribe to the full self-driving Autopilot, I think regular Autopilot is actually included. You can go here on the screen and you can see Autopilot, but right, that's all right there. But this one is full self-driving. This is kind of nice because this is a used vehicle at Impex Auto Sales, and it still has all of the subscription-based stuff. So you've got Autopilot, you have this, park assist and everything. Here's another neat one: automatic set speed offset. And this is going to allow the Tesla to determine the most natural way of driving. It considers factors like road type, traffic flow, environmental conditions, and speed limit, and the selected full self-driving profile. So it says you're always responsible, but what this does is if you're in an area where the speed limit is technically 35 and everybody's going 40 or 45, it's going to go with the flow of traffic so that you're not, you know, that jerk that's just always doing exactly the speed limit. And then summon, that's pretty cool. There is summon right there. This is just absolutely incredible. Speed limit relative, and you can offset it by 5 miles an hour. Let's go 7. I like the number 7. Forward collision warning, lane departure avoidance. So those are all within the autopilot setting, and the way you do that is to push this while you're driving, and then it literally, I mean, it's just incredible how it takes over. This is for your wipers, and this is for voice commands. And this Yoke, I have enjoyed it. I think it might be a little bit annoying if I had to do it as a daily driver, because your natural tendency is to want to grab something when you're turning like this. Sometimes you actually have a natural flow of grabbing something, and you grab for it and it's not there because this bottom portion is missing. But it's an interesting concept. It's not hard to do. It's actually pretty easy to get used to after a few miles, but that's the Yoke. I'll show you a little bit more about that in the driving portion. And then this is a camera. That's one of the cameras that works with the autopilot system, and that actually watches you just to be sure that you are paying attention to the road ahead. That's that little camera right there. So about the Yoke and about the drive of it, I have it in steering weight, I have heavy, and acceleration right now I have Plaid. And I've never experienced a vehicle that has the instant torque that this vehicle does. And you just barely press the accelerator, I'm telling you, and you just barely touch it, and crazy things happen. That was 50. I mean, how, and you can feel things happening underneath that you just can't describe. It's almost like the tires have a hard time handling the output of power that this thing is capable of. I've never experienced it before. Okay, so we're gonna do we're at auto driving right now, so watch this. But it sees that there is a red light ahead, and my foot is off the accelerator. I have my foot hovering over the brake light, or the brake right now, and so you can, I hope you can see what I see right here, but right now it is full on driving itself, and I'm in traffic, and there's cars all over the place around me, and there's a slight curve coming up here. This is just the most surreal experience I've ever had, and the crazy thing about this is the fact that I feel confident that this thing can do this. I'm not scared, I'm not nervous in any way. Now, for reference, I drive a lot of cars, a lot of different cars all the time. And so I'm used to technology in vehicles, and so I trust a lot of technology because I've done, you know, radar cruise control and the distancing and all that stuff. So it's kind of natural for me to be able to just trust this. I would imagine that somebody that's not in vehicles as much as I am and has the experience that I do would be really shy about it, and I completely understand that. But this is just no problem at all. The light just turned yellow, so now we're braking. Here's your glorious, gorgeous map, and I like the fact that it is an actual map, and you can really see exactly where you are. It is just the coolest setup. That's something that Tesla does better than anybody, period, is the electronics on their cars are second to none, 100%. It is just absolutely unbelievable. Hello, State Trooper. And so we're still, you know, in the midst of a whole bunch of traffic. And I just have all the confidence in the world that this thing knows what it's doing. It's turning us left, it's turning us right, and it also has a situation where it will automatically change lanes if it determines that the lane beside you is clear and the person in front of you is going like 10 miles below the speed limit. It will change lanes and get out of the way of that person and move forward. And it's almost like it's literally driving itself 100%. It is just the coolest thing. So as a daily driver, I think that this would be totally wonderful, because it has a tremendous range. The range, I believe, is over 300 miles, and it has so it's got a good range. It's crazy super comfortable. It's like an executive car. You have room, full room for 5 adults, and it's just absolutely fabulous the way that it feels when you're driving it in just regular driving, everyday stuff. And then the fact that you've got over 1,000 horsepower at your disposal whenever you want it is just boggling to the mind. I still cannot believe that this thing can do that. All right, I'm going to indicate that I want to turn right. No, it did not do that. Okay, so it deactivated the autopilot. So maybe if I would have had a navigation input into the system, so I'm going to hit. All right, so now it's back on, but it did not. You saw it. I signaled to the right to go right, and it did not do anything. So now I'm coming up to an area that has a whole lot of tree cover, and it's 25 miles per hour, and there's a real curve here. So let's see how it handles this. It's still going 35. All right, it's finally, I think, picked up the fact that it's a 25 here. I've got my foot hovering over the brake. I can feel it braking. Coming up to a stoplight. It's signaling right. I did not signal it. I guess we're turning. Sure enough, look at that. That was a do not enter right there. That is unbelievable. I just love it. God, that's craziness. The other thing about this car, okay, here's a biker. I don't like this. I want to make sure it sees the biker, and there's also a curve. I think I'm going to have to take over. And they're way ahead. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, it sees the biker. I can see it on the screen that it sees the biker. Go around. Yep, it gave him room. Dang it, that's amazing. That's amazing. It's gonna keep bikers safe. Incredible. It actually literally got into the turning lane over here, where under any other circumstance it would have kept it in between the lines on the road, but it's the fact that it saw that biker. Gosh, that's pretty incredible. All right, so here comes another curve here with a stoplight directly around the curve. It's just picking it up. I know that this is actually technically, as of the making of this is actually old technology. I'm going to deactivate it and turn left. This is technically older technology because this is a 2021 model, but as you know, Tesla does over-the-air updates, and it says right here, Autopilot autopilot disengaged, what happened? I'm not going to say anything. I think the speaker's now active, but since I'm recording a YouTube video, I'm not going to do anything for it. And it's still mind-boggling for me to see that the cameras on the car can actually see all of these, every single one, and it actually designates what the vehicles are. If a truck drives by, you see a little truck, and if it's an SUV, you see a little SUV. It actually is able to designate vehicle type. Here goes a little Honda Civic. That's craziness. The technology is unbelievable. So now I haven't figured out a way to, because it seems like when it comes to autopilot, full self-driving mode, it's not really full self-driving. I've had it come up to a stoplight once that you just saw, and it actually stopped. It you know, navigated the turn and everything, but when I activate my signal and I want to turn at a light, it doesn't do it. But that may be something that you have to do while navigation is in operation, and I don't know. But as a daily driver, I would have no problem with this. Again, as I said, because of the fact that it has 1,000 horsepower. Oh, look, it's going around that person. That's what I was just talking about. It actually sensed that there was nobody in the other lane, and that car was going really, really slow back behind, or that's behind me now, and it just went and got around it. Man, that's amazing. Now it's doing this whole natural flow of traffic right now, because I'm at 46 in a 35, 45 in a 35. And so it's going according to the natural flow of traffic, and I think it's because that Highlander up in front of me is going like 45. Here comes a car out in front of me, so let's see how it does this. And it's not jerky at all. It is incredibly smooth. I want to get over. Look at that, it did it. It sure enough did it. And now it's lining me up perfectly in the, gosh, that's crazy, Tesla. That is crazy. Yeah, so I stand corrected. As far as changing lanes when you are using the turn signals, it changes lanes immediately. Let's see if it catches this yellow light. Yes, sir, indeed. So as far as it being able to understand how to change lanes when you activate the turn signal, no problem. It does that really, really well. I just haven't figured out how it does it for actually executing a real turn. Like if I wanted to turn at this light right here, I don't know. As of right now, I have not discovered yet how to make it do it while it's in autopilot. That is a sweet old school Jeep Wrangler. Look at that. That is a nice Wrangler there. All right, I want to show you the turning radius of this thing. So we're going to do a UE right here. And I like the regen braking on this thing too. I had to, it turned so tight I had to turn it to the right again. We're going to try 0 to 60 without it being in drag strip mode. Are we ready? I'm just going to mash on the accelerator and kick it. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. Golly. That just threw my head back against the headrest, and I felt my cheeks. It felt like my cheeks were doing that. Golly. Darn it. That is insanity. I've never felt anything like that before. Oh my gosh. It has a drift preset. That's pretty insane. So as far as the self-driving, it does it extremely well. There's a couple of things that are leaving me scratching my head about the self-driving. As far as the level of comfort and the quiet, it's unbelievable. It's whisper quiet. I love the panoramic glass up here. It is a thing of beauty. And I'm just amazed by this car. The huge display, just the way it drives, the way it handles itself is so exquisite, but it is so dynamite fast. I'll demonstrate a little bit more for you here. Jeez Louise, and it is super grippy. Gosh darn it, I have no problem gripping the corners there either. It just, you pour the power on and it does not stop. Crap. My gosh. Okay, everybody, that's going to do it for our look at the Tesla Model S Plaid. This has been just a fantastic experience for me. I cannot believe I get to do this as my job. I love this, and I love this car. If you had as much fun watching this video as I did making it for you, that's wonderful. Give it a big fat thumbs up. But remember, the most important thing of all, everybody, have a wonderful day.